Audiovisceral and Spoken Realms present Swamp Outlaw, written by David Ball and narrated by Steve Hendrickson.
How I came to write this is a story in itself, and it started shortly after I'd come down here to the South, to North Carolina, from Yankee land. I spent most of my life up there. And to try to become part of the landscape after a while, I built myself a cabin up from the town I lived in at the time, up in the North Carolina woods. Beautiful place. Well, to tell the truth, a couple of friends of mine built it. I didn't build it myself. And I started spending a lot of time up there, and I found that this city boy was trying to become a country boy, and I was loving it. So I'd go wandering in the area, a few miles from the cabin. And there was this one area where there was a farm, and the farmer there had a field with some donkeys and cows and, I don't know, maybe a couple of goats and other things that I've only seen in a zoo or on television. And somehow or other, over time, I got to know one of the donkeys. And I really liked that little donkey. Now, I don't know if it liked me, but it tolerated me, which, as you'll see, becomes a role model for one of the animal characters in the book. And I got to know this donkey, and every so often I'd go over there to say hello, and sometimes it would come trotting over to see me, or whatever donkeys do. And other times it didn't. So I went through the fence, which is easy enough to do, and I walked through this field to get to the donkey, and we'd talk, and I'd pet him, and he'd tolerate me. And it was really kind of neat. And then one day I was doing exactly that. I was walking through the pasture, or whatever it's called, to get to the donkey, and I stepped in something, I guess as politely as I can put it. And it wasn't something you normally try to step in. And I did that because I've been looking at the donkey in the distance and not at where I was walking. So I'm scraping this mess off my shoe, and then at the far end of the field, I see the guy who owns all this, who's a local farmer there. We'd gotten to know each other, and he's laughing his head off at what I'd done because I hadn't been looking at the ground. And I said, this made quite a mess here, didn't it? And he said, city boy, next time you'll look, but that mess ain't nothing compared to the North Carolina swamps. You ever been in a swamp? And I had to admit, I didn't think I'd ever seen a swamp, at least not live, not there.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?